I don't react much anymore. Let's watch this. This guy makes amazing content.
On slots in Vegas, but today, not only can you do that, you can also bet on your favorite sports team, on the opening coin toss, on this individual pitch, or on all three in a parlay. You can do it from your phone, your tablet, your Apple Watch. You don't just have to gamble on sports. You can gamble on esports, on video game items, on slots with those items.
I have never built 42 zombie.
Or on regular stocks, on meme stocks. Gamble with calls. Gamble on earning calls. Gamble on calls with earning calls. You can gamble on
gambling is a big part of society. It is true. I was a big gambler before the stream started. I almost destroyed my life with gambling. I told the story a million times. Thank you, X-Pairs. Gambling is scary, scary, scary. And it's not very much coordinated by the government, I feel like. Not so much. And gambling is very, very creepy. I'm so traumatized, man. I can't watch sports without gambling. I could never watch a football game. I'm that serious to you. I could never watch a football game without gambling on it. I need to at least gamble $5. If I go to the stadium and I watch Bavaria versus Leipzig, I just don't give a fuck who wins. I don't care a second. I don't care who wins. I need to at least bet $5, man.
Say inflation 50 or 60 times in September. And you don't just have to gamble on that. You can gamble on crypto coins, Trump coin, Dogecoin, Fartcoin. You can gamble on the champion of Fartcoin coin, and you can gamble on any of the posts the champion of Fartcoin has ever made on whether they will become popular or not. And if none of that's your cup of tea, you can also just gamble directly within your banking app on a game of roulette, like a gentleman. And don't even...
I haven't seen it yet in Germany, but if your banking app has gambling on it, then that might be a problem. That might be something to look into.
Get me started on the ads. If you turn on sports, esports, podcasts, not even my favorite political show is safe.
Shout out to Prize Picks, the best app to fire on sports in the game.
You will
The guy talks to Netanyahu
be
and then
bombarded
has a
with gambling ads by every famous person you've ever heard of.
DraftKings.
There's so much money done gambling. I don't understand why Joe Rogan takes sponsorships. The guy made $100 million on the Spotify deal. The guy is a multi-millionaire, man. Would you ever take a steak sponsorship? You can say whatever the fuck you want about TommyKay. Anything you want about me, okay? But never in my career have you or will you see a gambling sponsorship on the stream. Till the day I die. Say whatever the fuck you want, man.
DraftKings Sportsbook. DraftKings Sportsbook.
Even they take it, even though they're so rich.
Oh, how did we get here? And is it a
I almost jump out of the window because of gambling, so I will never put that on you guys.
That we're turning
never,
every spare moment of our lives into a game of chance?
Kick has been texting me a lot lately that I should join them on Kick. They like showed me how much money I would make and stuff. I told them nothing. I just ignored them because I'm lazy. You take a gamble on that? Well, so far I'm winning for 8 years. Let's make a deal, chat. For every day I don't show gambling on stream, everyone has to give 5 subs, okay? It's free money. It's nothing free, my dude.
There are 3 things responsible for gambling becoming more mainstream, but the first and biggest trend is simply the mainstream becoming more like gambling. See, Silicon Valley learned a decade ago that gambling mechanics are incredibly good for user retention, so they put them everywhere. Let's say you're shopping online. Well, now you can spin a wheel to unlock prizes. Or if you're playing video games, you can open a loot box, get some randomized items. You can even use those items as virtual currency in a casino we've made a 3-part series about. Or maybe you don't have a problem with loot boxes for adults, but we've also put them in kids' video games because, you know, gotta start them young.
And that's the problem. Where's the government in this? I think the EU is doing stuff. There's some stuff happening, but it's still in its baby shoes.
Roblox is the largest game for minors, and they are stuffed with randomized loot boxes. But even if that's fine for you, what about the third-party websites which against TOS allow full gambling based on a kid's game? And yes, there are actual kids gambling on these
Belgium
apps.
banned something,
right,
yeah. But...
I just won a bit of profit there. I had 200 Robux. No, I had 200 Robux in profit, 100 Robux in profit, but I lost them. But I had 50 Robux and I lost it, and I thought I got 50 Robux again. So on this, mine.
Parents' fault. Parents' fault. This is literally me. Parents' fault. Parents. I will be an arrogant asshole. I will make fucking mad sure my kid will never be this kid. No hate, but that is my job as a father.
40 crates now. No, not 40 crates, but like 44 crates. That looks good. Let's go.
Tell me when I was a kid, you can laugh as much as you want. I was the last generation where digital world wasn't so much a thing yet. My childhood was a lot of being outside. I know I sound like an old uncle now, man, but my childhood was a lot of football, being outside all day long, man. Always having sunburns and shit.
Let's go. We're in profit. Let's go.
It is
that's not healthy.
absolutely
That is
disgusting
not good.
to see that. And look, I spoke to an insider
That is
who worked
not
on
good.
this website, Roblox Wild, before it got shut down. He shared data which claimed they made $5,000 a day, or roughly $2 million a year. Thankfully, this website got shut down, but third-party gambling sites still persist because copying casinos...
I bought in 1991. I honestly believe that the 90s kids were the last generation where the digital world wasn't so overwhelming yet. You know, Nintendo and PlayStation, it wasn't like this sucking you in multiplayer world we have
ton
now.
of money, and that's why we've
The
been
internet
putting
wasn't
it
so
into
evolved
everything,
yet and stuff.
including our politics. Prediction markets are the answer to the question of what if we could YOLO on election results and world events. The biggest websites are Polymarket and Kalshi, which have exploded in popularity during the American election cycle. But it isn't just major events that attract bettors. I was recently
The thing is,
asked
we know
to
both sides of
investigate
the world
whether
without and with
this
digital.
was
Yeah,
a suit
yeah.
that Zelensky was wearing. Why? Well, the prediction market had bet $200 million in betting volume on this bet, and some of them were really mad that they decided, no, this is not a suit, I guess. Whether you think it is or not, the volume of betting here is insane. And one reason for that is because these companies are exploiting loopholes that allow betting even in states where normal gambling is illegal. Because these companies say they're not a casino, so they don't fall.
And I'm telling you, I've been in a lot of casinos in my life. I've been a big gambling guy, and there's no place on earth sadder. Maybe a children's graveyard, but casinos are the saddest place on earth.
All
You
under
will
the
see
same
so
rules,
much
which is why instead
human
of having
sadness
to be
in
21,
these places,
you can
man.
now gamble at 18 on prediction markets. And while there have been legal challenges to this, both of the major companies, Kalshi and Polymarket, have recently brought on the president's son as an advisor, making it hard to see how they're gonna be meaningfully regulated. Meanwhile, all the
The son of Donald Trump is an advisor to gambling websites.
major betting apps are busy launching their own prediction market.
It's fun if you're
copycats
friends
to
and you
get
limit
around
yourself.
the
Yeah,
same
as a-
rules
yeah.
that we still have
As a
regarding
little
betting.
jokey
And don't
thing,
even
yeah.
get me started on the other
CK-free
loopholes that are out there.
nepotism.
Have you ever heard of the TikTok of sports wagering?
This is Cheddar. We're building the TikTok of sports wagering. Legal in 20 more states.
The thing is, I realize you can never destroy gambling. It will always be part of the human race. You can never destroy this. It's too powerful, billions of dollars. You should at least get your taxes out of it as a government, and you need to protect kids. Come on. But you can never, ever beat gambling. It's never going to happen.
21-year-olds. Live, in-game, micro betting. Swipe to predict every moment of every play.
I'm going to stop you right there. If you missed it, Cheddar is a new startup
Millions of dollars
trying
and
to combine
billions of dollars.
DraftKings, TikTok, and Tinder features into one app. And one of the things they brag about is they're allowing 18 to 21-year-olds as a competitive edge. Guys, can you believe the untapped market of teenagers for gambling? Now, to be fair, Cheddar has...
There's just no more rules. There's no more, especially with Trump now, there's no more lines. You know that South Park episode where they have to raise the bar? The bar is lower than ever
not
before.
launched yet, but this is obviously the future we're heading towards, turning everything...
The government is supposed to defend the children from this, but the government installs their own family as advisors
into
in these
a
companies.
maximally addictive gambling product.
Which more and more shows parents are everything. Parents decide what happens to their kids. No one else. Parents
Sports
are the
wagering
ultimate
at the
force
pace
in
of a
that.
slot machine.
Yeah. Isn't that the most dystopian thing you've ever heard? We're trying to turn sports betting into slot machines. I mean, the funny thing is this whole product is built around yet another loophole called a sweepstakes casino, and that's how they get around the 21-year-old age requirement. Here's how it basically works. Sweepstakes casinos claim that you don't actually need to purchase anything to play, so it's kind of not gambling. In fact, you can get free coins to access their games.
parents are busy
but they
working
also
all
have a
day and stuff,
second
it's
currency
hard.
Which you can
Yeah, once again, socialist Tommy. I always say on the stream, the biggest enemy of the human race is capitalism. Late-stage capitalism. Parents are so busy surviving, making do that they have less and less time statistically to take care of their kids. So obviously these kids are going down shitty fucking roads, hacking Hoi 4 games, and they're not going to be very valuable members of society. They're going to be good tools, good idiots for people like Trump or the AFD to vote for them, man.
buy. Well, not
It's
buy.
an-
You get
it's
it
a
for
slippery
free
slope
when you
of
buy the worthless
cancer.
coins. For example, their website says if you buy 100 cheddar coins, you get 5 bonus cheddar cash. and that's usually what you can gamble with and redeem for real money. This is actually how Stake US works. If you didn't know, Stake International is one of the world's largest casinos, but they aren't allowed here in the United States. So they have an American arm, which is a sweepstakes.
And let's also not forget something I want to add, man. This is something I learned out of experience because I was a big casino guy in my 20s. They cheat so much, man. They cheat so much. If you investigate a little bit what this means, when you play roulette and the guy looks, these people, the roulette guys, they can manipulate where it falls. They can do that. The invention of I can talk about this for hours. I was really big into this stuff. The invention of the 00 roulette table, a big scam to even get better odds against the player, man. The invention of automated blackjack shoes, so you can't count cards anymore, etc., etc.
Casino, which has
Casinos
gold
are
coins
also
and
very,
staked
very
cash.
fishy,
One
man.
Redditor explains how the loophole really works. Quote, one staked cash is one USD. They only use gold coins because they need to say that you aren't gambling with real money to stay open in the US. Except, of course, you are actually gambling with real money. They just have a virtual currency workaround, which basically everyone has figured out. Some casinos are just kind of more honest about it than others. Cheddar's basically saying the quiet part out loud. They're going after 18 to 21-year-olds with TikTok, Tinder, sports betting at the pace of slots. And by the way, people are betting on their success. They're actually in a cohort of startups invested in by a Silicon Valley investment firm called A16Z. But if you think that's a bad idea, now let's talk about banks and gambling. I recently made a video on Yada, which was a fintech, which is a complicated story. We've done a ton of work on here and here. But basically, the original pitch was a no-lose lottery, which gamified savings. Lots of YouTubers worked with them, and they acted like a bank, at least at first, until they switched their new business model to be about allowing you to gamble inside the app and lose money, essentially becoming a casino within what is essentially a bank account. Now,
That is insanity. That is utter
I
insanity.
should actually note that Yada recently shut down the banking side and have fully focused on the sweepstakes casino part. I guess it's a more profitable business, but it's a sign of the times that everyone is moving their app more towards gambling, and finance is going the same way. On August 19, 2025, the investing app Robinhood announced they are bringing...
Robinhood, the biggest scammers, they shut down the sales of Games Workshop stocks so their rich friends don't lose all their money in the GameStop short.
Sports betting prediction
Fucking
markets
mafia, bro.
to their app. In the announcement, the vice president of Robinhood claimed sports betting was a, quote, no-brainer, as we aim to make Robinhood a one-stop shop for all your investing and trading needs.
Investing and trading needs.
We noticed people were leaving to other apps.
I always feel the biggest enemy of the human race is our greed. Greed is murdering us. Imagine a fictional society of 100 humans living together in harmony. It just takes 1 out of 100 to be greedy, to want more than the others, to create this fallacy, to create this I want more than you. It just takes one, man.
We don't like that. We'd like you to never leave.
Greed is our biggest enemy,
Ironically,
dude.
The very next day, FanDuel,
Don't pray
the
to the
sports
mama,
betting app,
man.
announced they were bringing stock market betting to their customers.
But I will ask you about what some call the gamification of markets. Why this move? Why FanDuel? Why now?
For us to have a partner like FanDuel and be able to have 14 million accounts on day one, I'm not becoming a casino, contrary to popular opinion. I didn't buy a casino. These are markets that will be offered to the general public, and we think is massively exciting of what it could do.
And you couldn't have a more perfect image of how finance is embracing the casinos and vice versa. Actually, correction, you can have a more perfect image because after I wrote this, the New York Stock Exchange's owner invested $2 billion into Polymarket. So actually, this is the perfect image of where we are.
I tell you, every day we step further to a oligarch dystopia. The rich don't give a fuck anymore.
And the result is a lot of young people now see the stock market as kind of more like a betting market.
They are the ultimate power to decide everything.
Personal finance with about 21 million followers. In second place, Wall Street Bets, where gambling on the stock market is embraced and celebrated. It grew the most during the meme stock craze of 2020, which shifted how some people thought about investing. Instead of being driven by earnings, prices, or fundamentals, people gambled on memes, attention, and vibes. People are chasing.
How can you stop this oligarch transition? I might be very, very wrong here, but to me, it seems the only way to unroot the deep, deep roots worldwide of the top 0.1% owning everything, the oligarchic hegemony of this world, the only unrooting thing you can do is a massive war and uprising. No reform, no vote, no government will unroot the powerful base these people, Silicon Valley, Wall Street, and their friends have built. You cannot unroot this anymore. You will need a massive mega event like a meteoroid crashing, a nuclear war, or a worldwide fucking communist uprising or something. I honestly believe you cannot do this anymore. And I'm very interested if in my lifetime of maybe 50 more years, I will see people worldwide getting so miserable because the rich take so much and take that they're ready to finally do something. We see it in Nepal, Madagascar a bit, stuff like that, but in the Western world, we don't see it at all yet. I think we're still very far away from people being mad enough to do anything because we're so sedated.
One measure of this is the amount of debt.
I honestly believe you will need a violent uprising to unroot it. It's the only way. I honestly believe it. But it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. The US had decided to strike something Venezuela. Okay.
Taking out to invest.
Didn't Trump announce
Margin
nuclear
debt
power?
is at an
Nuclear
all-time
tests?
high of $1 trillion, which
Nuclear
even
weapon
on an
tests?
inflation-adjusted basis is near all-time highs and up 5x over the last few decades. Not only that, the rapid growth of zero-day options by retail traders is also a telltale sign. It's grown 5x in volume over 5 years, showing that people are trying to gamble more. Zero-day options are the stock trader equivalent of red or black at the casino. Fast action, massive wins.
The thing though is, right, I used to be really big into money making and gambling. Was a big thing in my 20s. The richest people in the world, the people that are successful with money, they don't really gamble. They maybe gamble for fun. They're not gamblers. They invest in these companies. They do clean investments that make them dividends, man. It's only kind of, I always talk about this, the loser principle. It's only losers that gamble a lot.
For losses on a single day. But if the stock market is America's casino, then meme coins are basically the back alley bookie who will break your legs. Bigger price swings, faster action. Meme coins are even more degenerate than meme stocks and pump and dump usually within a single day. Among the people who trade these, pump.fun is the leading destination as the one-click launchpad. Anyone can make a meme coin in seconds, and there is no value in it other than the expectation that someone might be more foolish than you.
But I'm also gonna share another opinion I have in all these years. I reached a point in my life where maybe it's a bit harsh, but if you fall for this, you deserve it. It's natural selection, and it shows me that democracy doesn't work. If you're this dumb to lose money on a meme coin, you utterly deserve it.
And buy at a higher price than
You
you
are
do. And of
not
course, Pump.fun
intellectually
is happy
capable.
to take a cut
You
and
shouldn't
make
own
most
money.
of the money.
Someone
Most
should take care of
traders will
everybody.
lose, but now you can also get a cut if you're a content creator who pushes one of these coins. We've seen the same thing from launchpads like Meteora. They allow creators to have a split of some of the trading fees, and it kind of democratizes the grift.
I could be so rich if I would just...
Can farm.
I know who that guy is. I saw him a little bit in my YouTube shorts. What a piece of shit human being, man. That guy is...
From their followers and fans
You
don't
man.
have to be particularly
The guy's a multimillionaire, man. You guys work your ass off. That guy is a multimillionaire.
sophisticated. And that's actually how
now, what's his name? Something but a fucking terrible human being. Jack Doherty.
Trump made millions of dollars in fees with Trump meme coin without ever selling. He just farmed the fees.
Yeah. Trump is using his fame and position as president to farm a meme coin.
And to be clear,
And it's like,
this money
okay,
doesn't
it's just
magically
okay. It's
appear.
just like,
It's being
oh, that's what
siphoned away from regular
just what it
people
is
who
now.
mostly lose. It creates a sad ecosystem where most creators are racing to the bottom for attention to get their audiences to pump their worthless coins, leading to a predictable spiral where...
Talk all the shit you want to. Fuck them, man. I know a lot of you don't watch anymore and they write on Reddit, I don't watch Tommy anymore. But never did I fucking do this to you. Never, bro. So gift some subs right now. Give me money.
most are scamming,
Right
rage
now.
baiting, or otherwise
You guys owe me like millions for all the gambling I didn't take. Yeah, you owe me money.
trying to shock each other into becoming the
I'm
biggest
gonna make
rich in the
K-Coin.
game.
Cups got drained.
Thanks for the 20 bandos.
It's ripping.
What?
That guy is totally in chat right now.
If you've ever heard of a zero-sum game where someone has to win for the other one to lose, meme coins are negative sum because of all the trading fees. Most people, by definition, will lose. The real winner, of course, is pump.fun and people pushing it. According to one analysis, they've generated revenues of over $800 million for them.
That's the thing. They are winning, but the people are
almost.
Okay, we are even.
There you go. One guy subbed. That's you, my boy, now. Sorry, Tommy, here's my payment. Thank you, Vink. 2 people paid their
None of the
payments.
traders have made significant profits.
I will come to your house, Stanislav Zoahai. I'm coming to your house. Olli, schön.
According to one analysis,
Endlich.
0.4%
Nice.
of all traders will ever make over $10,000. So almost no one. And
Thank you,
look,
Kane.
the reason we're going through all of
What I feel about the human race lately is we have no more. Let me just finish the point. We have no more overlaying justice system. There is no adult taking care of this. This is something I learned lately, under Trump especially. With all this corruption and craziness, there's no... You know, when you fuck up in real life, right? There's like someone coming. Oh, you now have to pay a fee. We're gonna get some justice. But for the rich, there's no more justice there. There's no one going like, you shouldn't do that. It's just the Wild West now. Thank you, Kill It. Thank you, Colonel Neil. Thank you, Kali Kush, for the 5. Thank you for paying your due. Still not enough, guys.
To explain the many ways
Thank you, man.
that gambling
is
no longer just about slots, cards, brick and mortar.
Sometimes I wish there was like aliens coming to Earth and they're like, hi, we're aliens, we exist, we will not interfere with your human race, but we will bring justice. If someone breaks laws and stuff, we're gonna fuck them up. Wouldn't that be cool?
Casinos.
Thank you, late main.
We've injected
guys.
it into every conceivable aspect of our lives, and that has 2 effects.
About to start.
One, it's inescapable. You cannot avoid gambling by avoiding Vegas anymore. It's literally everywhere. And then 2, it's also harder to understand and study because most researchers are studying like casinos, sports betting, but so much of gambling is not that anymore. So as we get to the numbers of this stuff, remember, everything's going to be an undercount. But it is still important to talk about those casinos, and that's where we're going to shift now. Starting with the biggest trend that has happened for these casinos, and number 2 on our reason, which is sports gambling becoming legalized. Rewind the clocks for a second back to 2018 when the Supreme Court overturned a federal ban. At the time, basically, you could only sports bet in Nevada. But after this, you can see in a few years, we've completely flipped on the issue. Most states now allow sports betting.
But if
and
they
along
make
with
tax
that,
promise, I get it.
advertising budgets for these companies is absolutely enormous. DraftKings, FanDuel, Underdog, Prize Picks, they've spent hundreds of millions of dollars getting celebrities and influencers to push their product every year. And man, has it worked. As I'm writing this, the #1 sports app on the App Store is not sports. It's not ESPN. ESPN and the NFL are 2nd and 3rd. The #1 sports app is actually DraftKings. And in the top 10, half of those apps are sports betting, which is insane. There are 2 reasons for this. Obviously, 1, hundreds of millions in advertising, but the second is what are called inducements, which is when these apps will incentivize players to download them and place a bet. Sometimes literally offering what seems
I'll never forget when I was a gambling addict. I would go to Tipico, the German gambling website, and they will give you $100 for free. And I will win a bet, and I turned them to $200. So I wanted to get $100 out, and they're like, you're not allowed. You made this money with our money. You're not allowed to get this out until you make 10 times more and stuff. I remember that, man. They fucking... Thank you, Mr. SunGod.
It's got an NFL offer.
Don't play with me. Just turned $5 into $150 in bonus.
Look at all these people selling out. But I don't blame them. I think most in chat will sell out. If the money is well... Bro, honestly, if they go like, TommyKay, we're going to pay your house. Do a gambling sponsorship. I'm going to think about it, bro. Money just rules it all. I can't even blame anyone, honestly.
Now look, the reason casinos do this is kind of obvious. If they can make you place 1 bet,
I was
you're more
gambling
likely to place
bad, though. Oh man,
second,
sweet
third,
summer child. You must be
100.
like...
But even setting
16.
aside the fine print of these weird offers, does it not strike anyone else as weird that we're allowing gambling companies to give away free stuff? Imagine the cigarette industry told you, buy your first pack, get 50 free packs free to get you started. Imagine Budweiser said, shotgun 1, they'll send you a case for fun. It's insane. And yet, that's exactly what these sports betting apps are doing. It's the lifeblood of how they get new players. And once you're in, these apps will also cater to their biggest players, biggest losers, called VIPs. They will send them gifts as they spend their life savings. And there have been multiple lawsuits actually about this. And to make it worse, if you do the opposite and you actually win too much on these apps, they will try to limit your betting, as one investigation found.
There's many legal addictions that are worse than gambling. Terrible comment right now. At the moment, we're focusing on gambling, a huge issue to human race. Why do you have to do water pause? Why do you have to go parallel here?
Show
Who cares?
any real ability
What you're doing with argumentation like that is that you take away the weight of what we're talking about right now.
Effectively handicap a game and beat the sport.
What is the argument? Alcohol is worse, so just stop watching the video. What is the argument, man?
Limit your bets and essentially kick you out of the sports book. They will not let you win. Can you talk to me a little bit about how sports books treat you once you start winning?
They don't. I'll never forget, man, when the UFC kind of started, like 10 years ago. I think I knew a lot about the UFC, and I will start to actually win good money on Tipico. In 1 year's time, you can Google this, Tipico Germany has turned off MMA bets because they will lose money on it. Because the bookmakers didn't understand. I will never forget. Ben Askren versus Jorge Masvidal. Ben Askren had a 1.2 and Jorge Masvidal a 4.0. They didn't think Jorge has a chance. And I'm like, you retards. And I put money on Jorge and I made so much money. And then they deleted MMA, UFC from that website because they will lose money there. They make the rules, man. They don't give a shit, dude.
Yeah, it turns out the casinos actually hate the exact player that's featured in all of their advertisements. The guy who actually wins too much money. Which is actually so crooked when you think about it, that if you're one of the few people who achieves what they're promoting, they actually don't want you. Now, as I was writing this story...
It was unpredictable? No, the issue was the quotas of the bookmakers. It doesn't matter if something's unpredictable. The quotas matter. A bookmaker has to make good quotes.
Other massive scandal actually broke in the sports
That's how they
betting
make
world,
money.
which is even more corrupt than not allowing winners.
But as you now know, individuals such as Chauncey Billups, Damon Jones, and Terry Rozier were taken into custody today. Former, current NBA players and coaches. What you don't know is that this is an illegal gambling operation and sports rigging operation that spanned the course of years.
That's right, the FBI just exposed a massive sports rigging scheme that was using these apps to win money on rigged basketball games. One example of this was March 23rd, 2023, when an NBA player, Terry Rozier, told a friend ahead of time that he was going to go out early on a foot injury. And so that night, $200,000 in bets were placed on his underperformance because no one else knew that he was injured. And a few minutes after Terry kind of limping around, he left the game and the bets paid off. A few days later, Terry Rozier and his friend allegedly counted the money at his house from the fraudulent wagering scheme. And this was one of several rigged games the FBI alleged, but the media was quick to point out this isn't even the first time someone was caught doing something like this.
Everyone, the
IDs up. Who played for the Toronto Raptors has already pled guilty. He's already pled guilty. He's awaiting sentencing for doing just what Rozier and Jones are accused of. So this train has already left the station, Laura. And I have to tell you, when Jeff Teague, an NBA player, says, oh, there's betting everywhere, it is everywhere. I've done ads for DraftKings. LeBron James has done ads for DraftKings. In fact, ESPN, when they were reporting this story this morning, they're having programming, people talking just like you and me, talking about this scandal on the press conference the FBI was giving. And underneath them on the ticker was an ad for ESPN Bet, which is ESPN's own sportsbook.
Yeah, the irony of all of this is that the same people who condemn illegal betting going on are simultaneously pushing the sports books which create the opportunity. And at some point, the producers on ESPN actually noticed it, and see if you can spot the moment they try to fix the sportsbook ad in the corner.
You hear a lot about legal sports gambling on this show. The Bussin' Boys, obviously sports gambling is a huge part of what you do, so we put those all out there as a preamble because it might be in the back of people's minds, and we acknowledge that this is a different time and place. However, there is a fine line, not so fine, there is a bold line that obviously has to be drawn.
Well, that's a little awkward. You're actually supposed to remove the ad for sports betting before talking about sports rigging. And honestly, we've only hit the tip of the iceberg here because we've since learned these professional leagues are useless at catching this stuff. Turns out the NBA already investigated Terry Rozier before the FBI indictment for that exact game, and they cleared him because the NBA commissioner said there was insufficient evidence.
Ultimately concluded that there was insufficient evidence despite that aberrational behavior to move forward.
Right. So even with aberrational activity, they had the right game, the right guy, and the NBA couldn't find enough evidence. I mean, the more money that goes into sports betting, the more this will be a problem, and the leagues are clearly not equipped to handle it. But people just look the other way because the money's too good. And I want to now address the size of these betting markets because they're absolutely enormous in ways most people don't understand. And to get our heads around it, we're going to look at some survey numbers. One study estimates that 22% of all Americans and almost half of men my age have an online sports betting account. Another estimates that 1 in 4 people have placed a bet on
You can't
sports,
with this. You
and
can't
1 in
fight
5
this. You can only
placed a
try
bet in the
to
last
save minors and text the stuff to make
like with
extra
all
money from it.
surveys, there's margins of error here, but the data mostly agrees. Sports betting is very widespread and
You can't fuck
extremely
with this.
popular among young men. And for the ones who get addicted, it's financially devastating. One recent study looked at Americans' finances before and after sports betting was legalized by their state. They found that bankruptcy rates rise approximately 10% after
10%,
legalization.
bro.
Another paper looked at financial
There was a guy
stability,
saying, "What's so
noting
bad
that
about
for
gambling?" in
households
chat.
that do bet, they spend on average about $720 a year sports betting. And the study found that for every dollar
I kinda wanna bet right now. I wanna do some bets.
there's a reduction in net investments
So
of
what's
just
going on
under
here,
$1.
man?
As people gamble more, they invest less, which means their financial future is worse. Makes sense. But this is especially true of problem gamblers or gambling addicts. To be clear, this is not something that affects all gamblers. Roughly 1% of the world population suffers from this.
I'm not allowed
It's
to
more
see the
common
game.
among
I'm
people
not
who
allowed
bet
to go to that. Oh, I need to make an
regularly and bet
account.
online.
Shit, okay.
Two of the things that sports gambling encourages. Problem gambling completely obliterates people's finances and affects more than just the gambler. Because
Also, sometimes
as they
this is something I feel lately. I'm gonna say something arrogant. I'm always honest with you. I'm gonna say something a bit arrogant. Give me the ID for the game. I think what happens in the world lately is we see. That's how to explain what I'm trying to say. You have like a society, like let's say German society, 82 million people, and the scissor between idiots and people making it is getting higher. I feel like, I don't know what I'm trying to say. If you have your life in check, like I think I have nowadays, oh fuck. My plant is creating tentacles because it can't find any water. Oh, 1 sec. My plant is creating tentacles to get more water. That's not good. You know, like a potato when it looks for water? Oh, shit. Okay, what am I trying to say? I feel like if you live your life well and you make intelligent decisions, you like climb, and as you climb, you see people fall off. And you see people land in the ditch. And it creates this, I don't know what it creates. I don't really know what I'm trying to say right now. I don't know what I'm trying to say. I feel like the gap between who's a loser and a winner is getting bigger in a way. I don't know if that makes any sense. I don't know what I'm trying to say really.
Steal to continue their addiction, they affect everyone.
Wait, I can't hear anything. Oh, I pulled my cable. 1 sec. We have to finish this. I have to dress up for Romania.
I do mean steal. Roughly half of gambling addicts will commit a crime, and most of those crimes are to continue gambling, often leading to a spiral where the addict doesn't see
Stop with this nonsense. You have told us about your past. You were like these people you're calling idiots and loser, but changed when you aged. The question is, yeah, will you get out of it, though? That's what I mean with the dumpster. Will you get out of it? That's the big question. Some people stay down there forever.
Which is why problem gambling has one of the highest suicide rates of any substance addiction.
Suicide rates.
Full stop.
There's no more coming back from it.
I don't get it. You know none of this matters, right?
Yeah.
You've tried this before with Roulette, CS2, and it did nothing.
Yep.
No, literally, I mean nothing. Absolute silence. All the
You get out of it because of
moralizing.
luck? Very, very wrong. I think that's a terrible, terrible narrative to give young people that I was just lucky. I was lucky with my surroundings, of my family, taking care of me. Saying it's only luck is ridiculous. It means that if someone is really down a ditch right now watching the stream, it's like, I can only get out of this if I'm lucky. That's not how it works. It's bullshit.
Anti-gambling, you're wasting your time.
Yeah.
Let me tell you a story.
Is the game up?
A year ago, I was offered $20,000 to do a video by casino. Now, I said no and made a whole series about it, but what I didn't tell you is that later I was offered $1 million to cover my legal fees in an ongoing case. Now, this was offered by a person who said they wanted to remain anonymous, no strings attached, very nice person. They said they wanted to just help out. Sounds great. But then I found out the money was coming from a sports betting company. They were one of the top people, and that's obviously a dilemma for me. I am publicly against gambling, and here this person's kind of privately telling me, well, gambling can pretty much solve all my problems.
Slacker.
Pay my legal fees.
I look at Slacker. The guy fucked his whole life, man.
Regulated. It's fine. It's above board. Ultimately, I had to say no. Thank you for the offer, but you know, in my head, there's no such thing.
See, Tommy, you can't blame people. What do you mean? What are you trying to say?
And you know, obviously, I also can't take $1 million from a sports betting company and then go make a video criticizing sports betting. But it gave me pause.
The problem, right, is kind of set in society. So this guy's a nice guy. He's trying to do the right thing. But in society, he will always be the one with less money. A corrupt version of him will have much, much more money. Like, being nice doesn't pay, unfortunately, right?
It
pays in
where
soul.
I started to understand exactly how
screwed
we are. And this goes into our third reason: gambling is winning.
So right now, what are you talking about? I don't know what you're trying to say right now.
Casinos can throw around
Aiden Russ leaks?
Is winning.
Who even is Aiden Russ? Twitch gambling sponsorship.
Way, these casinos can
Why do people watch Aiden Russ? Train claims he made $360 million from gambling streams.
Life-changing money for any normal person is why the data will
$100 million kick deal, yeah.
It's why having enough sad facts about addicts or interviewing people whose lives were ruined will not change things. Believe me, I've done it, and it's never moved the needle. To be honest, it's not even debatable that gambling is kind of bad for most people and life-destroying for a few.
It's weird, man. Imagine I take like $1 million, but 5 years later, fucking Osmium Bolts texts me, Tommy, I lost everything. I got gambling addicted because of your ad. I'm gonna kill myself now. Well, I would probably just sip my champagne in a pool and be like, see you later, loser, but...
The industry kind of
it's not so
that,
easy,
but
right?
The reason gambling is everywhere, in spite of that, is there is too much money in the game benefiting the people that make the final decisions, right? Think about the states with tax revenue, the casino profits, the influencer payouts. There's a small group that gambling is incredible for. So incredible,
yeah. Sometimes I could be part of that group. I could show the emails right now. I get a lot of emails from Kick. They're trying very hard to get me on Kick. I could be part of that group. Oh, but Connie deleted them, I think. Yeah, he deleted them. Let me go to my trash bin. Where's that? Oh, it's very far down. Most of the emails I get are just scammy shit. Let me Kick. My force about to start. I don't see the emails anymore. I don't know where they are. Maybe I'm just lying, making shit up. I can't find them
basically defies logic. I'm talking billions of dollars in profits. And if you want to understand why gambling is everywhere, you can't just look at the statistics. You have to look at the money. And I want to show you exactly how this works with an example. This is Matthew. He's better known online as Nadeshot, and recently he took a gambling deal with an offshore crypto casino. And when he first talks about the deal, I want you to notice it's a little strange. He almost seems hesitant.
Boys, we just partnered with Rootbet. And before I say anything, don't gamble, okay? You will lose. I promise you, you're gonna lose. But that's why I partnered with Rootbet, so they can pay me to gamble. So, even when I lose, I'm still gonna lose.
Yeah, it's pretty weird to hear someone say, don't gamble, guys, while announcing a partnership.
This is why maybe I'm a little bit of a little bitch. I never understand how these people are so big. How are these people so big? I'm so much better than them as a human being.
Gambling company.
I should have millions of
implies that he may lose money, but in fact,
I
later
believe that,
admits
man.
it's the most money he's ever been paid.
What the fuck?
This is the biggest.
Look at that mansion! Holy moly! This human being is so rich! What the fuck am I doing here chilling with you losers? Anyway, guys, this stream today is sponsored by Stakes.com.
Partnership
you can get a $5 deposit if you
No, instead
Twitch
I
Prime.
think the hesitancy, the weirdness of this video is because Nadeshot knows pushing gambling is kind of bad for people. He said so in a podcast a couple years ago.
I definitely think that people streaming on Twitch, all the crypto betting, certainly incentivizes younger kids to be more interested in crypto gambling.
That's sad, bro.
I know personally.
And kids watch
people
this,
that
it's a
should
fucking
not have
disgrace,
been gambling
man.
online, but because it's so easy to gamble with crypto, they did it.
No, the reason I have less viewers is obviously there's less intelligent people than intelligent people on the world. And obviously I'm a streamer, I attract a lot of intelligent people because I have intelligent content and stuff, right?
and they could not.
The more
afford to
intelligent
do
you
it,
are, the less
and it
views
has
you
not
have, because
worked
most
out
people
well
are dumb
for
as
them.
fuck.
Right. Nate Shot knows personally it's bad. But for the reason why he's doing it anyways, just fast forward 2 minutes in the podcast and we find out because the host asks, a hypothetical. What if someone offered Nate Shot $100 million to promote gambling? And well, let's just say his tone changed.
I ain't turning down $100 million, bro. You got me fucked up, brother. I'll go on there and I will crypto gamble 24/7.
Can't blame him, though. Can't blame him.
At that point, man, it's the parents' fault. Hey, I'm just working over here.
Can't
You're
blame
gonna
him.
Pay me more than LeBron?
99.99% of us will take the 100 million, chat. I need the
Cash
ID,
on
please, for the
fire.
roleplay game.
Gambling crypto. I would sell my soul for 100 M's. Are you fucking kidding me, dude?
Most people do it. Can't blame anyone. The thing is, here we go. I'm gonna say something, but I'm honest. I'm a little bit weirdly religious in that way, right? My religion is that I believe maybe life is a test. Maybe one day you're gonna die and then you get judged. So this is kind of the main reason I will never do something like that, because I always want to be prepared for the test. I always imagine when I'm dead, there's like someone judging. Oh, you took the gambling stream. 5 people suicide because of you. You're gonna get fucked now. I
will be.
For me, it's a
your
religious thing,
workhorse. You want me to pump blue chews and crypto gambling? I will do it all.
Splitting nines against Nate?
Up.
You should do that, no?
Kids.
No, you should. No, you should.
Look, I'm just going to say, you can say he's
That's
wrong
20
for
million
saying
for suicide?
that. He's a bad person for saying that. But the reality is, this is why gambling is winning. The casinos have so much money, they are buying people's souls.
I need the ID, please.
Even people who kind of admit gambling's kind of bad.
Thank
Put
you.
enough money on the table, and Nate Shot
Let's finish
said,
the video
hey,
fast.
fuck them kids. And by the way, speaking of fucking them kids, let's talk about Drake.
W's in the shot.
It isn't just streamers or influencers taking deals. It's the biggest rapper on the planet. He signed a reported $100 million deal recently with Stake, the crypto casino, which is wild. There's
Again, who can
really
blame him?
no endorsement deals like that anywhere else that hit those kind of numbers. And just like Nate Shot, Drake wants you to know that, even though he's taking the money, gambling isn't for everyone. Recently, he posted an $8 million loss, saying, gotta share the other side of gambling. Now, maybe some of you think that's brave, but to me, I see that and go, Drake, that is the only side of gambling for most people. If any normal person lost $8 million, their life is over and their legs are broken. You're the only one with another side to this whole thing. Where, to be clear, that other side is reportedly getting paid $100 million. And to be clear, it's a lot of people taking these deals. I'm not trying to single anyone out. Let's also take Kevin Hart, right? One of the world's smallest comedians. He pushes DraftKings. And this one I find really bizarre. But it's okay.
Do me a favor, man. Go to the DraftKings app. Look at what I'm betting.
One sec, chat.
Why I'm betting.
I kind of have to stop here. The game is starting. I want to pay attention. We're going to stop the video here.
She slipped through my fingers like sand. Heard that she had a man. Now I'm just sitting here sad. Oh well, shit sail. She slipped through my fingers like sand.